Shortly before the events of Order 66, a few members of the Jedi Order were able to sense a great disturbance in the Force and foresee these shocking events moments before they took place. Depa Bilaba, who was the master of Kanan Jarrus, Jaro Tapal, who was Cal Kestis's master, and Grandmaster Yoda were able to sense the impending destruction of the Jedi before their clone troopers turned on them. Even some non-Jedi like Maul and Ahsoka Tano were able to sense Order 66 before it happened. So why were these Force users able to feel a great disturbance in the Force while many others were not? I'm going to break down some incredibly interesting theories for why these Force users could sense Order 66 while the other Jedi could not. Before we get into it, remember to hit that subscribe button to be notified when I release more Star Wars lore content. Only 31% of you who are watching are currently subscribed, so remember to hit the button if you do enjoy the video. As Order 66 was initiated by Palpatine, 5 Force users from both the light side and the dark side were able to feel the Great Purge that was about to take place. These Force users were Grandmaster Yoda, Depa Bilaba, Ahsoka Tano, and Maul. So how were they able to pull this off? Starting with Grandmaster Yoda, it's likely that his extremely strong connection to the Force was what gave him the ability to detect Order 66 before it happened. He was probably the most powerful living Force user at the time, matched only by the power of Palpatine himself. As the Grand Master of the Jedi Order, he was easily the most in tune with the Force of any other member, and made sure that he was not clouded by the fog of war like many of the other Jedi were. Despite leading the Jedi Order into the Clone Wars and appointing the Jedi Knights as generals in the Grand Army of the Republic, Master Yoda was always worried that he was making the wrong decision. As the war went on, he slowly came to realize that the end of the Republic was near, and that the Jedi Order that he knew was coming to an end. On top of this, we also know that the clone troopers of the Republic had no hatred or anger towards the Jedi Order whatsoever, until the point that Order 66 was called by Chancellor Palpatine. Because we also know that there was a hidden Sith shrine placed under the Jedi Temple from the Tarkin novel, which was discovered by Ahsoka Tano in an unfinished episode of the Clone Wars. Only the Jedi who were the most deeply connected with the Force were able to overcome the dark fog in the Force created by this shrine and sense the turn of the clones. Even though Yoda was weakened by the Sith Shrine and by Palpatine, he was still powerful enough to foresee the betrayal of Commander Gree. Finally, the reason that he was able to sense that Commander Gree was about to execute him is because Gree was extremely conflicted in the moment and was unsure about executing the Order. We see throughout the Clone Wars that Gree developed a much stronger conscience than many of the other clones. Master Yoda could likely sense this conflict inside of him as he was approaching him from behind. Now, moving on to Depa Bilaba, her case is similar but with some major differences. Depa Bilaba was gunned down by her clone commander, Commander Grey, on the planet Calo as she defended her Padawan, Caleb Dume, allowing him to escape. Before she was killed, however, she received a vision in the Force of her clone troopers turning on her. As Depa Bilaba received the Force vision, she was able to grab her apprentice's hand and transfer the vision to him, allowing Caleb Dume to witness the events of Order 66 take place across the galaxy. Wow, that must have been chilling for him to see. This vision ultimately saved Caleb Dume, who went on to become Kanan Jarrus, allowing him to train Ezra Bridger some years later. There are a few reasons that Depa Bilaba received this vision. The first and most direct is that she happened to be meditating deep into the Force at the time of Order 66, giving her an extremely strong connection with her surroundings. Because of this meditation, her awareness and Jedi foresight were incredibly strong, allowing her to predict incoming blaster fire from her clone commander, giving her time to defend Kanan. The other reason for her being able to predict this event is because she did not allow herself to be clouded by the light side of the Force and the arrogance of the Jedi Order. She was very similar to Qui-Gon Jinn in her view of the Force, leading her to leave the Council shortly before Order 66. Her different views on the Force allowed her to sense the upcoming end of the Jedi Order, while many of the others who were blinded by the war could not. Next is Jaro Tapal, the master of Cal Kestis from Jedi Fallen Order. He is a bit more mysterious. We know that he was one of the less patient Jedi generals of the Republic, and that he valued a strong connection to the Force more than fighting with his lightsaber. lightsaber. His deep connection to the Force and his refusal to be blinded by the Clone Wars probably helped him to be able to sense the Great Disturbance. Other than that, we really don't have much information about why Jaro Tapal was able to sense Order 66, while many other Jedi couldn't. I'm hoping this is expanded on much further in the Jedi Fallen Order sequel, which was recently confirmed by EA Games. But let me know down below how you think Jaro Tapal was able to sense the Order. Was it his deep connection to the Force, or could it be because Lasat Force users were naturally stronger than others, similar to how those of Yoda's species are? As for Ahsoka, the reason that she was able to sense Order 66 and the dark deeds of her master Anakin Skywalker was because of her incredibly strong bond with him and the fact that she had already disconnected from the Jedi Order. Ahsoka clearly saw the flaws of the Jedi Order during her time in the underworld of Coruscant, and of course her framing and exile from the Jedi Order. Ahsoka's disconnection from the arrogant teachings of the Jedi Order, mixed with her strong connection to her master, allowed her to gain a clear insight on exactly what was going on, including the events of Order 66. The connection obviously went both ways, with Anakin having a strong attachment to his apprentice, probably contributing a lot to her being able to sense the fight in Palpatine's office. Ahsoka was also very deeply connected with the light side of the Force at that point, because she was saved by the daughter of Mortis after being killed there. Many people think that Ahsoka has the spirit of the daughter within her, but we'll have to wait for either The Mandalorian Season 2 or the Rebels sequel to find out if that theory is true. It's also possible that because Ahsoka was the one to discover the hidden Sith shrine in the unfinished Clone Wars episode, she was aware of the dark side presence that was clouding the foresight of the Jedi. With this knowledge, she may have been able to overcome Palpatine's usage of the Sith shrine when she sensed Anakin's distress. For Darth Maul, his ability to sense the beginning of Order 66 and the fight in Palpatine's office was probably because of his extremely strong hatred for Darth Sidious and how he was cast aside as a simple puppet for his plans to create the Empire. We know that Darth Maul hated Sidious even more than he hated the Jedi by the time of Order 66, so it makes a lot of sense that someone with such a strong connection to the event would be able to sense it. Obviously, the Sith weren't clouded at all by the Clone Wars because Darth Sidious was the one who created it and was playing both sides of it. It's unclear just how much of Sidious's grand plan Maul knew about, but he certainly would have been able to put the pieces together after he was freed by Ahsoka and found out about the clone troopers turning on her inside of the Republic cruiser. Maul's complete hatred for Sidious and the fact that he moved further into the dark side than almost any other time probably allowed him to become aware of his former master's plans only moments before they were carried out. So those are some very awesome theories about why the 3 Jedi and the 2 other Force users were able to sense Order 66 before it took place. I'm sure quite a few of the other Jedi who we don't know about yet were also able to sense the Order too, but we'll just have to wait and find out. We'll also probably get some more information about Jaro Tapal and why he was able to sense the Order before it happened. Thanks so much for watching. Remember to comment down below who your favourite surviving Jedi was, and yes, you can even include Ahsoka. Cheers guys, hope to see you in the next one.